What's going on, boxing fans? It's Jordan Williams with The Distance. I'm back. I have a video for you guys tonight. Right now I am on vacation. At the moment, trying to enjoy myself, but spring break got some good nights ahead of me. Partying, stuff like that. Whatever. I'm not partying. I'll be quite honest, but anyway. I just thought, since I've been away for a bit, I thought, maybe I'd do a little prediction for you guys today, or tonight, whatever time zone you're in, California, Australia, wherever, UK, Germany, Asia, wherever you are, it is very late here, but thought I'd do a little prediction for a fight that the mainstream is not talking about, which is kind of a fight between two guys who are really known for getting their asses whooped by top heavyweight contenders. I thought it'd be an interesting fight to call. This one being Jonathon Banks versus Travis Walker. This is going to be on the undercard of Vladimir Klitschko versus Eddie Chambers. This matchup is like in Ukraine, no, Germany, next weekend or this weekend or whatever. So anyway, on to this fight. Travis Walker versus Jonathon Banks. Like I said, it's kind of a B-level fight. Really a win and a loss doesn't really do much for either fighter. Jonathon Banks is the former IBO Cruiserweight champion. A lot of people know Jonathon Banks from his fight with Tomas Adamek when he kind of got knocked the fuck out in like the 8th round when Adamek, kind of poured in and whooped his ass. That's what Banks is known for, pretty much. But in the fight, you did see some great skill in his technique. Something about Banks, I do like how he did kind of keep his distance away from Adamek in the fight. I do think in this fight against Walker, he does want to keep distance because Walker does have the ability to kind of pour it on you and unload a lot of clean blows, unload on you, because remember Walker did overwhelm Chris Arreola with some good shots that kind of that made Arreola go down. It wasn't really necessarily a big time legit knockdown, as you could say, land flush on Arreola's chin, knocked down, but it did make Arreola take one knee. What Banks needs to do in this fight, he does need to avoid that work rate of Walker. Walker does sometimes put his punches together very well, puts his combinations together well. So Banks really needs to avoid that, in this fight. Banks needs to stay away from him, and he needs to paw with his left jab. I think in the Adamek fight, Banks did so much to try to get Adamek off of him, and keep Adamek away from him, that that it kind of made him tired, and he didn't really stick to the manuscript pretty much. So in this fight, he does really need to stay away. He needs to box against Kaufman. And one problem of Banks is the fact that sometimes he does stay stationary. He does really, in this fight, need to move. I think that coming in and out, would give Walker a lot of trouble, because Walker does well if he stay within the distance against Walker. So I do think that really staying out of range, firing off the left jab, and another thing he does that Banks does not need to do is square up against Walker. That is something that Jonathon Banks doesn't need to do, square up and stand in front of Walker the same way that he stood in front of Tomas Adamek. That's a big no-no in this fight. For Travis Walker in this fight really needs to kind of come forward the whole fight. He has a fighter in front of him that's going to square up with him, that's going to try to box against him, but at the same time will more than likely lose energy if you continue to pressure him. The question is Jonathon Banks in good shape at heavyweight? Can Jonathon Banks maintain a high work rate? Can he continue to box with Travis Walker for 10 rounds, I'd say. Can Jonathan Banks do that? Travis Walker really needs to go to the body, to see, if Banks can hold up in the later rounds, or see if, Travis Walker could go into the later rounds. But, in this fight, he's going to have a guy that's going to square up with him, and possibly fade in the later rounds. Another thing with Jonathan Banks, he does keep his left foot forward, kind of keeps it very, very forward, like way in front of him forward. Travis Walker really needs to put his right foot in between his left foot. Right on the inside of his left foot, Travis Walker needs to put his right foot on the inside. He puts the right foot on the inside, but Banks could possibly lose his balance, or it can offset the offense. Travis Walker wants it to be an inside fight as well. If Travis Walker could make it an inside fight, he could win this fight, probably by knockout, if he could wear down Jonathan Banks. Though this is not a fight that mainstream is covering, though this is not a fight that really matters anything to anybody, you have two fighters who were defeated, within the past year or so. Jonathan Banks was defeated like February the 27th, 2009, and Travis Walker was defeated big time on November the 29th, 2008. Against two top heavyweights who are actually about to face each other, Tomas Adamek and Cristobal Arreola. With the fighting styles, a lot of people are talking about how Jonathan Banks was kind of, on the comeback trail since being a heavyweight, and you haven't really heard much noise about Travis Walker. But, in this fight, I really see Jonathan Banks winning this fight by a unanimous decision. I think that Jonathan Banks has better boxing ability. I think that, he has better boxing IQ and better boxing technique. And I think that he'll probably jab his way to a unanimous decision. He does, tend to get those times where he fades later on in the fight. But I think that Travis Walker, I just don't think that Travis Walker is on the same level as Jonathan Banks is skill-wise. Could Travis Walker get on the inside, overwhelm Jonathan Banks with a bunch of shots and win the fight? Definitely. I could see it happening. But what I'm going to call a unanimous decision for Jonathan Banks. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.